What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about how to make leveling a little less painful in Blade & Soul. So you've gotten your first character up to level 45, and you're looking at the other classes that are pretty interesting, and you want to work on an alt, but you don't want to go through all that questing again. So a couple ways we can alleviate this is by adding in some grind spots in some of the instances and one in the open world. Now, there's one major thing you're going to need for this, and that's Hong Moon Dragon Soup. You can either buy it from the NCSoft store for 160 yen coin, or you get 3 while leveling at levels 12, 28, and 42. Now, any class can do this, and I'll be providing some builds and some tips that I used for all the classes. I'll link the builds down below in the video. I do apologize in advance for the poor quality of the clips that I'm using. I pulled them straight from my stream. I leveled 1 to 45 at Head Start in about 14 and a half hours. But I'll include the full VOD down below if anyone wants to watch that as well. So the first zone we're in is the Dream Drift in Gloomdross Forest. Now you can either come in at level 10 or level 12. If you come in at level 10, you'll have to buy a soup from the store. If you come in at level 12, you can choose to use the one you have from the survey. Now I chose to use soup at level 10 on Head Start, but for my other characters I've chose not to use the soup just because it goes quick enough for me and I can save a little money and use the soups later. You can see that I split the dungeon up into 2 parts. The first area goes up to the first big opening with the fireplace in it, and then the second area is the second room. Round up all the mobs. Once you kill the last of the mobs, you want to kill the 2 in the middle. You can see I'm dragging the leftover mobs with me, trying to speed it up a little, save some time. Once you kill both of those, the third fairy will spawn. I kind of just grab them, take them over to where our portal is going to spawn. Save a little time as well there. As you can see, we got a portal spawn, and we'll take this up to level 15. The next zone we're going to head to is the Vulture and Raptor's Dig in Scorching Sands. You can come in here as early as level 25, and you can stay as late as level 31. You'll most likely get here after level 25. I skipped a lot of quests to specifically get here right at level 25 because I was speed leveling. But it's okay if you get in here at level 26, 27, or any time you want, you can grind here. If you're a little unfamiliar with your class, you're leveling it new, this might be the first area that gives you a little bit of trouble with the mobs. And along the way, I'll give you a couple tips and the builds I used for each of the classes in these grind spots. I'll link them down below the video and give you a couple options that you can use for the skills. They might not be the best builds, but they all worked for me. So, don't be afraid to experiment, change some of the skills around, try some different stuff out. That's the whole part of leveling as well. You're going to check out some of your new skills. So the first one we'll look at is Destroyer. It's pretty simple. Once you round up all the mobs, I'm looking to either ram or kick one of them for the CC, and off of that I will grab them. I have my Ember to Stomp tiered up to give me extra defense while standing in it, along with some extra lifesteal. Whenever I Power Slam, I gain a percent of my health back, so Ember Stomp multiplies that as well. And once I Power Slam them, I'll finish them up with some Eradicates, which is my right click. And if early on, if you're not killing them quick enough, you still have X Sweep, and you have Blitz as well to CC all of them if you need to. Our third grind spot is the Boneyards in the Razor Wing Ravine. You can start at level 33, and you can stay as late as level 39. Just like before, I got here pretty early. I skipped a lot of quests to get here at level 33, so it's okay if you get here a little later. If you didn't have any trouble with your class in the digs, this will probably be the first place that you will have some trouble. Don't be afraid to do a couple practice runs beforehand, get through the dungeon a couple times, make sure you got your spec down, make sure you're comfortable with it. I'll give a couple tips for Summoner first. Once you round them all up, you can use your 1 to root the mobs, you can use your 2 to do some damage, you can use your F for Briar Patch, F for your AoE heal and dot, and then you're going to look to spam right click after you tier that up to Sunflower. It's pretty straightforward, keeps both you and your pet healed up, keeps a lot of no downtime. The next class is a little trickier, that'd be the Assassin. Once you round up all the mobs, you're going to put your landmine down and you're going to knock them down. You tier up your Shadow Slash on your 3 to do extra damage to knock down targets, and it'll proc a second time as well, so you can spam that twice. You can use your Poison Breath to get a 5-stack poison up on them. You can let that tick a little, or you can immediately use Decoy or Backstep and follow it up with Lightning Stride for a lot of burst damage on that. A lot of times they'll have a little bit of health left if you didn't do it quite right, and you can use your right click tiered up 4 points down the right side for Bombard for a little bit of AoE damage. You can also tier up your C for some invulnerability during the attacks and a little heal as well. Once you finish the run, after we split it up into 2 parts, you can see that I'm running out. You can also choose to use, when you hit escape, there's an escape option that you can use every 20 minutes to get you back to the front of the instance. Or you can hit F8 or F9, join one of the lobbies, and then you can pour it out, and it'll put you at the front of the instance after that. Our fourth and last grind spot is the crash site in Misty Woods. You'll need at least a minimum level of 41 to get here, and you can take it all the way up to level 45. The biggest issue you'll probably run into is there won't be enough mobs for you to work with, as there will be other people here most likely. You can see I got here way before anyone else, and I had the entire place to myself. I actually split up the area into 4 different poles that helped alleviate with the respawn timers. The next class I'll talk about is Force Master. Force Master is pretty easy, has lots of AoE skills. You can use your 3 to root the mobs in place, use your 2 to do AoE damage, you can spec into meteors, you can spec up both your Z's and Frost and Fire Stance for AoE damage, and use your 1 to finish off the stacks. So don't be afraid to try out a bunch of skills with those. Next class is the Blade Dancer, also pretty easy, has an AoE knockdown. You can spec up Lightning Draw to do increased damage to knock down targets. You can spec up your left click to be AoE damage. You can spec into your right click as well outside of Draw Stance, and that'll help proc your F. So you have a couple options there as well. The sixth class would be the Blade Master, pretty similar to the Blade Dancer actually. You have the AoE knockdown, you can spec up your Lightning Draw for increased damage, you can spec up your left click for AoE, you could turn your right click into pretty good AoE damage with some lifesteal on it as well. Lots of options there. You can spec up your tab for AoE days, so don't be afraid to check out those. The last class, Kung Fu Master, a little bit tougher with the Kung Fu Master. You have a lot of AoE, but your best AoE damage is going to come from your 2 most likely. You can tear that up into Tiger Palm. There's 2 trees you can work with there. I really like tearing up my Z to stun and a heal off of that, put 4 points in that. It's pretty strong with the heal. 4-second stun, you can tear up your 4 to be a AoE daze, and you have your AoE knockdown as well. As I mentioned, I'll have all the classes linked below, their builds that I use throughout leveling, some different ideas you can try, and don't be afraid to try out some different stuff yourself. If you have any questions or comments, as usual, please leave them below the video. Don't be afraid to ask. Head on over to my stream at Karth_WS. I'm currently trying to grind all classes up to Plat. I've got 2 done, 5 more to go, so come on over, check that out. And if you guys don't have any questions, take it easy, and I'll see you guys later.